after his long winter nap, Ric Walton. Welcome back.
Long winter nap is right. Just tell you, glad to be back. Good to see you.
Wow, it's been so long. I can't remember the last time. Since you've been here, Joe Biden got elected.
He did?
Yes.
Does he know it?
How long has it been? It's been you haven't been here.
6 weeks or so.
6 weeks?
6, 7 weeks.
So people have asked me, where's Ric Walton? It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
I really don't know. Where have you been?
I've been up in Florida for the most part. I've been back a little bit too, and actually been in Nashville also. But yeah, down there. I don't know if you know, but in the March and that and everything else, the sun comes up down there, and it sometimes goes 75 degrees or so. And
well, we're sitting up here looking down at Florida, wondering what is going on down there in the Sunshine State. It's crazy.
I mean, I like the feeling down there, to be honest with you. They're pretty wide open. And
a lot of controversies.
Yeah, I think most of the people there like it. I talked to a guy down there that just moved back from California. He said he was glad to be back in Florida. It was a guy that was actually he'd come from Mexico. He said he was glad to get to Florida too, because of the craziness going on out there.
So it's even crazier outside of Florida. But Ron DeSantis, he's well liked in Florida, isn't he?
Well, I think the problem we have right now is I'm really disgusted with politicians. The name calling is ridiculous. I mean, Bart, if I disagree with somebody, and whatever it happens to be, don't just call me whatever you want to call me. I mean, it's just because it's amazing. They think it sticks at times. Different people do, and I'm just tired of this stuff. Even about Ron DeSantis, I did read it because we're down in Florida and stuff, and he is liked, and I think he's a fair man. And I mean, he's got. You talk about a guy that's got a history. This guy's a celebrated American now, and always was. But he done some really cool things. I think he's just a good human being, and trying to do it right. But it's gotten to be. I disagree with you. I guess it gives you the right to call me any name you want to call me and accuse me of whatever I happen to be because I disagree or I make statements. And that's what's kind of scary in this country, that we seem to not be able to express ourselves. And I'd love to have everybody express themselves. I mean, not to call people names. I don't think that's right. But at the same time, be able to express themselves and not be accused of whatever that was out there. If I want to vote against vote for or vote against something, and then somebody wants to call me because I didn't vote for it or I voted against it. I just think we're going way too far. I'm just really frustrated by it.
Yeah, you're right. It's surprising how the decorum is out of politics.
Yeah. Well, it really is. And I just think that I've said it before and say it. I'm going to continue to say it. The parties are too strong, and I don't think you as an individual can hardly stand up because they'll put you right down and not let you do anything. I mean, it's just like you see so much of all the Republicans vote this way, all the Democrats vote this way. I don't believe that for a second, that they believe that way. I don't believe for half a second. But these parties are so strong, and you think about the leaders in some of the parties, and you can just see it. They'd say, hey, you want to do that? If I was up there, I'd probably say, you want to do that, Rick? Okay, well, it's political suicide because you won't get anything for your district or whatever out there. So, I mean, they're just too strong. It's too bad. But,
this week was the filing deadline to running for office, and those that have, they've already been contacted by the Democratic or Republican Party and told what they have to do if they want to get money and support from the party.
Oh, yeah. Well, and again, how do you get elected? For the most part, you got to have money so you can buy advertising and pay for your campaign. So it's a sad state right now. It's a tough, this country is a little frightening to me. And I feel that way. It's not going to be so bad for me. I'm old, but I worry about my kids and my grandkids. And really what really made this country, to me, great. I mean, there are certain things, and my dad was one of those people, and my mom, and didn't come from money, worked hard, knocked down, got back up, and everything else out there, had great values. Nowadays, everything seems to be okay, and if you disagree with it, that's when they're going to call you something or whatever out there. And
did you get older and more curmudgeon in Florida?
I guess between all the news, you talk about the Ukraine stuff, which drives me out of my mind to think how I thought we were over this kind of warfare.
It's unbelievable.
It's just unbelievable to me.
I can't believe it's happening.
I can't either. I mean, that's just, to be honest with you, and Lisa was watching some of it. We were down there quite a bit, and it really kind of depressed her. I said, don't watch it anymore. Don't watch. I mean, it's because it's driving you nuts. And it was driving me nuts a little bit too. I'm just so frustrated by it. You know, and I understand from a Washington base, you know, you'd love to say send our planes in there and take out whatever you can take out, or the missiles or whatever, but I get it. You just can't do that because you got a nutcase that lives in Russia, and he's a big bully, and you back him into a corner, no telling what he'll do. I mean, that's the frightening part about all this. We just don't know. So how do you handle it? But how far do you let him get away with it? I mean, I just don't know, you know. It's a tough call. It really is a tough call. Not there's a right call, wrong call. You know, my preference would be, and I didn't make them right, you know, I guess Ukrainian people want to fight. I guess I'd arm them the best I could.
As mad as we all are to see this happening, there's people even madder who've lost whole families and their lives. That I can't believe there aren't people that are plotting to do something. You know.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. Basically, what you're just saying, we're hoping somebody in his inner cabinet shoots the guy and gets rid of him. I mean, really are, because I think it's. And then they also talk about this. Talk about propaganda. You know, talk about a media over there that really, do they tell the truth? No. Thank God for technology that probably they can get on whatever out there, Facebook or whatever it happens to be. But they're still saying, what blew my mind is I saw the other day where it said 80% of the Russian people think he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, they're brainwashed.
Like, apparently.
Now, when you flew back, was the mask mandate?
It was still on.
It was gone?
I just made sure I was drinking water all the time or eating a cookie. So I could
it
keep
was
off.
on. There was still mask mandate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you got to take your mask, take a sip, put your mask.
No, you don't do that. You could, they were pretty lenient on that, as far as, and trust me, this is serious stuff, and I'm over this mask thing, and if you want to wear it, you should wear it, And there are certain people really at risk, I get it. But, I've seen so many people have gotten all the shots and did this and that and got it. I think you should get the shots. I've gotten them, and I've gotten them. I haven't got that last one. I don't know, was there 4 now, I think, or something? Gotten 3 of them. Because I think it just tempers it down. I really think if you got it or I got it or whatever, it would generally, and there's always exceptions to everything, people, it would generally wouldn't make it be too bad for you, or me or whatever out there. That's why I think you should do it. That's plain and simple. I don't want to put a bunch more stuff in my body and then another shot, even though, we get flu shots and that type of thing, and we take, shots for whatever.
Well, all your Botox shots.
Oh, I don't do Botox, people. It's because my young mother. I do like that. I go to the gate, and they're saying, "Is that you? You're not that old, are you?" I said, "I am that old." I had a young-looking mother.
Were you at the Academy Awards? Did you see the slap?
I saw the slap. And here we want to, and I get it. Is it what he did is wrong? Absolutely, it's wrong. It was an emotional time. I don't condemn the guy completely. I mean, it was foolish. I'd hope to God I'd never do that, even though he took an offense to it about his wife. I mean, we're protective of our wives, our kids, and everything else out there. I don't know. But, it's too bad. Kevin Hart, I'll give him credit. He handled it perfectly. He could have really went all off on that stuff. It's too bad, but I'm not ready to condemn the guy, either. Will there. I think he's, but, did he do a foolish thing? Fortunately, it's just a slap, and that was it. But this world it's frightening in this world. If people think everything is great and going along great, let me tell you, thank God there are some great, most people are really good. They really are mostly good. But, whether it's a border thing, and I don't know how you can justify just letting anybody come across the border. And I'll tell you right now, do I think the Mexican workers coming across the border are good workers? I do, on average. But what else is coming across? What's the other thing going there? And it's, we just physically and economically and everything else just can't handle people. I mean, what the sad part about everything is, just like there's one party that's kind of against, the other party is for it, I don't believe most of those people in that party that are for it right now are for it for the right reasons. They're for it for some political reasons, and I don't really think they care. If you tell me Nancy Pelosi really cares about those people living in her walled house and doing everything else, it's just a political thing for her. That's what bothers me about it, And I feel for those people. I do. I mean, most of them that are coming across here are living in hell, and they're seeing it as an opportunity. It's that other 20% that, probably doesn't make sense. We shouldn't let them in. And then also, how do we just handle these 80%? You know, I'd like to, you know, we're going to do open up every country that's got the problem like that. So it's a tough thing. I mean, I'm glad I'm not involved. I'd probably be making the wrong decisions all the time or changing my mind all the time.
I'm just glad I don't have to make decisions.
But it's tough to do.
Beautiful weather this weekend. Are you ready for it? Because of course you've been enjoying it in Florida, but
Yeah.
here we go. This is our first.
We-
80.
80 degrees. I can't. I mean, and I know you've had a pretty crappy spring up here.
It's been cold and wet, yeah.
And, you know, we got back on Friday. I know Thursday was really bad. Friday was pretty bad. And the weekend was pretty cool. I was standing outside watching soccer and a couple soccer games and windy and whatever else out there. But, yeah, I mean, I love spring, and we seem to be missing our spring, you know, right now, even though hopefully
It's still April.
It's still April.
It's still April. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a nice Easter?
We had a real nice Easter, yeah, with my sisters and went over to Lisa's mom's, and just had a good time, you know. Actually, I just went, yeah, I'm probably more melancholy right now, too. I just came from a funeral
Oh, dear.
for a gal that I knew, grew up with, even though I grew up with the family, and she was the older sister. And then, you know, 3 weeks ago, and she was fine, and boom, then she had this issue, and cancer issue.
Oh, dear.
And boom, it just blows your mind. I mean, that's why people do what's right. You don't know when you're going. I mean, this gal was full of life, good gal, just full of life, you know. And boom, had a good marriage. Everything else was great.
Life's too short.
It is short, man. Do some good. And when you're wrong, say you're wrong. What the heck? You know, it's okay.
Well, welcome back. So we'll see you at grandkids soccer games and stuff like that this weekend.
You will.
You bet. Welcome back.
I'm so glad to be back. Love it here.
Next year, don't give up my show for Lent, okay?
Mhm.
Thank you, Ric Walton.
Thank you.
That's it. We're all out of time. Thanks to